Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Reed and today I'm actually making some art. Also, two things I need to apologise for first. Sorry if you can hear kids screaming outside. There are a bunch of them walking down my street very slowly and very loudly. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Also, sorry that there's a watermark at the bottom of this video. Because I don't have a camera yet, I am filming on my phone. My phone keeps running out of space, so I've transferred all the footage onto my laptop and I'm using editing software there. But I don't know if I want to keep using it or I'm going to go back to my phone. So I haven't purchased it yet. So man, that bit was loud. Sorry about that. So I can't get rid of that thumbnail until I purchase it, but it's not the cheapest. So if I like using it, I'll buy it. If not, I'll just stick to my phone. So for this one video, you'll have to kind of put up for it. And sorry, there might be a little outside noise. It is stinking hot here, but I have to keep the window open, otherwise I'll literally suffocate. But I'm honestly just sweating now. Like, it's so hot. Like, it must be almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, I don't do well in heat. So yeah, this is the piece I've already made. I've actually finished both of them because I lost the original intro, but you know, I'm going to redraw this. I said in my last video I was going to do it 3 times, but I'm going to do it twice this time because otherwise it will require mixing a lot more paints, and I don't like mixing paints because I'm a lazy fucker. Just to be brutally honest. Although I did also use, hold on, this ink, which kind of makes it hard to tell because like the eyelashes, some of the lips and necklaces and things, all the things that are really bright I've done in this ink, but I really wanted to use it because I just got it. I also put it in this brush pen, which I'm loving using. I don't use it for outlines, I always use it for my sketchbook. But yeah. So I'm going to talk about the things I'll be using in this video. So I'm comparing these two palettes. This one is either by Reeves or a random brand that uses the same one that Reeves does. And this one is a Schmincke Winsor knockoff. It's just from AliExpress for about 10 bucks. And this one was also almost 10 bucks here. So I mean, I'd recommend going for this one because you get the same mixing space. It's just a little more compact. The only problem is that one of them is on a slight angle, but it doesn't really bother me because it's got the catch trees. Yeah, it's on a slight angle, but it's got the catch trees and always pop it up with something underneath. Also, quick update, the thicker ones have cracked. Like, especially, was that indigo? No, that's Prussian blue. I don't know if you can see that's quite dark, but this one here as well, I think that's burnt sienna. The paints that were thicker, if that's my last video, the ones that were hard to get to crack more, like this one, that's raw, that might be burnt umber, that's raw sienna. That's raw umber. It's something. If you want to find out what it is, it's on my last video actually. It's on the front here, isn't it? Yeah, it's raw umber, and that one's raw sienna. But yeah. I really like this palette. It's really nice to mix on. There's a lot more surface retention. So it's a lot easier to mix on. Yeah, during the video I'm going to talk about the actual paints and maybe the palettes as well. This palette isn't bad, and I do recommend Reeves paints if you're starting out, but they're not the best for vibrancy or layering, but they're great when you're starting out because they do work quite well. They're just a little bit muted, so when you do layer them they can be a little bit muddy, but I'll talk about that more throughout the video. And then at the end I will show you what I mean. Okay, no? Hope you guys enjoyed the speed paint and me ranting about which paint I like best. I can't English. I'm very hot and very tired, you know? See you in the voiceover. Hello and welcome to the voiceover. So I'm really sorry about the watermark. I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I haven't bought the full version of whatever I'm using, the program, because I've only just started using it today, so I don't know if I like it or not, or if I'm going to keep using it, or if I'm going to get a massive SD card for my phone and use that, or because my laptop is a wee bit, like, it's a bit slow, and if I want to click on certain things, I have to turn it off and on every time I want to click something different, which gets really frustrating real quick. It takes forever to do like anything on it but watch a movie or YouTube. Like, even to like do the Wi-Fi, I have to turn it on and off like 3 times just to connect to the Wi-Fi, which is really annoying sometimes. So yeah, I don't know if I'll keep making it on my laptop or get a new laptop or what's gonna happen, but yeah. Also, you'll see the swatch off to the side, that card, I'm just using it to swatch the colours to try and get them to match the original piece, because of course one of them's mixed and one of them's like mostly straight from the pan, because the Winsor ones come with a better selection of colours for me. The reeves actually do have quite a good selection of colours for beginners, and I'll talk about that more a little bit later. But yeah, that reminds me, I actually need to figure out the prices of the reeves versus the Winsor & Newton. The reason I chose this title, because I know it's going to get more views. I made it kind of intentionally clickbaity, I'm going to admit that straight away, because I don't like being fake. I'm a pretty see-through person. Literally, I'm so pale, I'm sometimes actually see-through. But anyway, I really like making YouTube videos. Like, I really enjoy it. I don't know why, I just do. And the goal for this year that I have is trying to get at least 3 videos out a month. I don't know how I'm going to do that, because I go back to school on the 5th, art school that is, so they might just be like filler sketchbook pages and that kind of videos, maybe 1 speed paint a month, or I don't know. I just want to do my best because I really love filming YouTube videos, and I don't know, yeah, even if I can't make a career out of it, if I can make this channel into, you know, a decent channel, you know, I'd be happy. So yeah. But anyway, the paints. So there were quite a few differences. At first, honestly, I was a bit shocked. Well, I wasn't shocked, I was scared. I was worried that I had just spent all this money and I didn't need to, because the rezones were actually fairly decent. But no. If you wait till the end of the video, I show a swatch card where I show the pastels and then the more vibrant colours of both brands. And there is a huge difference when there's like no layering or anything. Like, it's a huge difference. Like, it's actually insane. I didn't even notice the bigger difference until at the very end, because I use quite pastel colours anyway. I really like pastel colours, even though I wear nothing but black, and I own nothing but black and grey. I think I own like 1 blue flannel, and that's about it. I never wear it though. But yeah, so also one thing about this illustration, or illustrations, is that the necklace and the tattoos and the headband and the eyelashes are all done with a Liquitex Quinacridone magenta ink, and it's quite bold, and I think that was probably a mistake to choose that. I mean, I love the way it looked, but it does slightly distract from the colours, and it makes it kind of hard. Well, not hard, but the pink stands out the most, and it makes them look a little more similar, so you have to really look for the differences in the actual pigments. There's a little difference between them, so right now it could be either of them, but further along the video I think there's quite a clear difference, and not just because like I made it. I asked the family and stuff, and they're like, yeah, I can see it. At first I did think that it was the other way around, because I think one of them, the hair is a little more vibrant because of the way I did it, but I think overall definitely the Winsor one is a lot more vibrant, and it was so much easier to use as well. Like with the reeves one, I got a lot of hard edges, like, you know, when you paint something and there's like a dark ring around the edge of whatever you painted. I just kind of assumed it was me and my terrible skill. I mean, to a degree, it is me and not being able to control my water properly. But then I found when I did the exact same test with the Winsor & Newton ones, I got very little rim. That sounded very dodgy. I got very little like edge, and that was interesting. Also, the reeves granulated a lot more. I never actually noticed that. It happens more when I try to do the really dark, more pigmented colours. They're granulated quite a lot, whereas the Winsor & Newton ones are a lot more even and flat. So that was interesting. But yeah, I never really noticed, because I work in a lot of pastel colours. Darker colours is something I do want to try and get into, but I really love the pastel colours a lot. I think it just gives it a really eerie kind of see-through ethereal feel. So yeah. Also, with the reeds paints, I find that the pigments themselves are a wee bit muddy, or like muted. Like at the end you'll see the sketchbook page and there's like a swatch card where I've just swatched some of the colours and they all look really, really nice together, like for a colour palette. If you're like a beginner, it's really good because all the colours, like you don't have to pick your colours, because if you did pick your colours, you probably picked the wrong colours. Like I didn't even know Payne's Grey existed until I bought Reeves. And it's like one of my favourite colours ever. Like I use it to darken all my colours now. I didn't use it in this illustration, but yeah. I love Payne's Grey. And I didn't even really know it existed, so. The Reeves set is very good. It just doesn't come with a pink, which is one for me, but it's not hard to mix a pink because it does come with a white. Oh, sorry, I needed to burp. Also, with the little pot here, the ink itself is 2 on the red side for me. And I don't like red, I've mentioned that a few times, so I just diluted it with a little bit of water and then use my nib. It's just a artist, not a calligraphy one. Calligraphy ones are no good for this. It's just an art nib on a piece of plastic. Although I might be getting a wood one that my friend's going to carve for me. I don't know, it might not happen, but I'd be really happy if it did, because he's like one of my best friends ever. But anyway, yeah, so with the more muted tones, they look really good if you do them kind of together with one layer. In one layer, they look fairly vibrant if you don't compare them to Winsor & Newton. Winsor & Newton blow them out the water, but blow them out of the water because they're watercolour. I'm so a dad. I would make an excellent father, even though I hate kids. The dad puns are strong. Anyway, they make a really nice colour palette when they're in flat washes, which is what I did when I was starting out. Apparently it's quite a common thing to do really, really flat colours. Like, I kind of do everything with one layer and maybe add a little bit of blush to my skin. Well, not my skin, but the skin I was painting, and that'd be like about it. I wouldn't really do much else, but yeah, that was kind of a mistake because it looks very flat, and the colours itself look good and flat. But at the end you'll see the sketchbook where I show 2 pairs of lips, well actually 3 pairs of lips. 2 of them are done with my Reeves in layers, and the other one's done with my Winsor & Newton in layers, and the Winsor & Newton one is just more vibrant and looks a lot nicer. I mean, the Reeves ones look okay by themselves, they look quite nice by themselves, but when you compare them, nah, they don't even, but yeah, I would still highly recommend them for any beginner. They're great. They kind of already come with a colour palette, I guess, because they're all kind of in the same colour tone, or not really family, because blues and reds obviously aren't in the same family, but like they all kind of work together. So if you're not very good at choosing colour palettes, it might work, but then it also might limit you and make you more kind of complacent. I don't know, it's just, that's what I found. It was quite good. It taught me how to mix, put different colours together. Also, the pen I'm using is a grey knockoff Micron from Wish, because I'm a cheap art hoe. They say is they just spent, well, I didn't spend, but just now own it over $300 priced watercolor set and like $50 on brushes. Not most of my other supplies are like under $10. I don't spend a lot of money normally. It's just because it was my birthday and Christmas present. I've wanted these paints for ever since I watched my first Jacqueline Deleon video. I fell in love with watercolors and watched more videos about Winsor & Newton. Yeah, I chose Winsor & Newton because they're available here and I just like them better. But yeah. I didn't choose the pans because here it's really hard to get the pans and they're like more expensive for less product, like dramatically so. But yeah, anyway. Here I am just adding in the ink and stuff. I do go back in with the inker on her eyelashes and do it more over, but just to make it match so the ink is kind of even, so it's easier. And I think at this point it's kind of easier to see which, especially on the cheeks, which pink is more vibrant, and you can't tell on the horns just yet because they're kind of hard to see before I outline them. but I do outline them in a very light layer of pink ink. Pink ink, huh? That's weird to say. But yeah, I really love the Winsor & Newton ones, and all my doubts when I first had were like, did I just waste all this money? No, I didn't. These paints are so good, and I don't think I'm going to see a huge dramatic difference, but I've definitely noticed a difference in my ability to layer. And just the way using them, they blend out so much nicer. Because they don't have that hard edge like the weaves, like the reeves ones do. They kind of are a lot softer and so much more easy to blend out, so much better to blend out. They're so nice to work with. So yeah, that was something I noticed because working with reeves, especially doing the lips, you guys can't see it on camera because it's really, really faint. But at the end, when you see the lips, if you get real close, the skin and everything else is kind of outlined with a hard line of watercolour at the end, not on purpose, whereas the lips are kind of more the Winsor & Newton ones are more like purposely outlined. Although it's kind of hard to tell unless you kind of really look up close, because the reeves one is like more inconsistent, it's not like a smooth line. But yeah, here I'm sending detail and stuff to here. I really enjoyed making these pieces. But now I'm really fighting off an art block again. I was kind of having an art block from before Christmas, and I took a break, and then I came back and did this. Just like, my art block's over. I managed to complete these, but no, it's back again. I can't create anything except these really stupid looking animal hybrids that are on my Instagram and amino, and I don't think on my DeviantArt. No, not my DeviantArt. But if you want to check them out, I'll leave the links to all my social media in the description. You can see my most recent failures. Yeah, I think I covered everything I had on my list. Oh yeah, the colours aren't exact and the pictures aren't exact either because I'm not a robot. I did my best, but definitely in person, one of them's a little bit more green, the hair, and it looks a little bit more vibrant, but it's not a big deal. On camera you can hardly tell. But I think at this point you can really see which one's a lot more saturated and which one isn't. Also I often actually over mix pigments on when I was using the reeves Winsor & Newton, because I was so used to having to mix in more pigment with the reeves. But yeah, can you guys see the difference? If you guys can see the difference already, comment down below. I do tell you which is which at the very end, but don't skip ahead just yet. Watch, because there's more information at the end with the card and stuff. But if you guys got it right or if you got it wrong, comment down below. I want to see what you guys think, or comment on my Instagram or something, because I'll probably be posting this right after I share it on YouTube. Anyway, this part's pretty much almost over, and I'll let you guys get back to the outro. I'm curious to see how you guys figured it out. Anyway, see you guys in the outro. Bye. Okay, so these are the two final pieces. This is the one I completed in the video you just watched, and this is one I did earlier. Now, before you guess, I'm going to show you this. Okay. Now, I wanted to show you the fact that these are the Winsor & Newton, and these are the reeves. In the pastel colours, they look quite similar. These look a little bit more vibrant. When you go into the more vibrant colours, Winsor & Newton versus reeves, you can really see the difference. Also, this isn't watercolour paper, so it's not like the best for watercolouring on, but it definitely shows the difference. So this one's Winsor & Newton, this one's reeves, and I think the hair and the ink kind of threw it off, but if you really look at the faces, this one's a lot more pink and more vibrant. Also, I just realised I've got two eyebrows, and this one's kind of a little more dulled out and more purpley, which isn't a bad look, but it means when you layer it, it becomes a lot more dull. I'm going to show you another example in just 2 seconds. Let me just get my life sorted. Like that'll ever happen. No. Here. So don't mind this, it's just got some information like an address to a local shop of mine, which doesn't exist anywhere else, so I'm like, I should cover that. So these ones I did last year, and this is the Winsor & Newton ones. As you can see, these are a lot more dull than these. They look okay by themselves, but once you compare them to that, they just look a lot more dull. So, yeah, that's just the thing I wanted to point out. One thing that is nice about the reeves though is that when they're all like not layered, they make a really nice watercolour palette because they're all slightly more muted, so they work nice together. Like even here, they kind of work really nice together, but more muted. And here as well. But they don't layer as nicely, which is what watercolours need to be able to do. I mean, they still work, like these have plenty of layers on them. They just look a little more dull than this one. But, I mean, it's not a big deal if you, even if you have got the money to buy the Winsor & Newton set, start with the reeves. Just because you might not even like the medium. Also, one thing I did notice is that reeves pulled up at the edges a lot more than the Winsor & Newton. I don't know why. Like, especially on the pastel ones, you can kind of see. Well, I can see. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. It's not a great camera. This one's a bit because I tried to layer it a lot on not watercolour paper. It's just cartridge paper, like a thick cartridge, like maybe 100 grams, if that. Yeah, I just, you know. Also, sorry the video's kind of dark. It's just a bit. It's nighttime here, and it's still really hot. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this. So, also if you follow me on Instagram, you see I posted this, but then I added ink to it, so it looks like a little more like refined. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you got some information from this. It definitely did inform me. Honestly, when I first got these paints, the one thing I noticed is that they're a lot nicer to work with, but I didn't really honestly tell the difference straight away until I like legit compared them. And no, it's just there's so much more pigment, there's so much nicer to work with. Reeves, I still like. I would use them, and I'm going to keep that set. I will still use them. Maybe if I'm doing like a study or something, but I definitely prefer the Winsor & Newton. But I mean, I kind of expected that. In fact, at first I was a little bit worried that I shouldn't have wasted my money buying the Winsor & Newton because they were the same as the reeves. But no, the Winsor & Newton blow the reeves out of the water. But if you're a beginner, I definitely recommend the reeves. Even if you're like more of a professional artist, if you like doing more dull and muted tones, reeves are great. Again, I don't know how light fast they are, but nothing I own sees the light of day ever, which is why I'm so it's not really something I need to worry about at this point. I know that even some of the Winsor & Newton colours are less light fast than others, but that's just the way pigments work. Anyway, sneak peek at my sketchbook. I'm actually like not even halfway through this. That's kind of sad, but I've been in like a major art rut. Like, I'll show you the two things I've created today that I haven't done anything since like a week or two ago when I actually did the thing. It was these two things of all I've managed to complete in the last like week and a half, because I'm just in such an art rut. And I just mixed to it. Oh, I hate these. They're funny, like they just look so ridiculous, and I really want to use the Winsor & Newtons more because I've just fallen in love with them. It's just, oh, I'm rambling now. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video where I can actually paint something that I like and it isn't a complete mess because I'm in an art rut and it was slash block and I can't think of anything to draw that I like. My life is hell though. It's not that bad, it's just me complaining about being an artist. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. And if you want to see me set up that watercolour palette, it's currently our most viewed video. And as of right now, it's almost at 100 views, which is blowing my mind. Anyway, thank you guys so much for everyone who watched that video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Read out.